All right, good morning, trade pros. Welcome to Morning Market Update for Monday, May 7th of 2018. It's going to be a great week. It's a great day. It's a great morning. We're excited. Our team's growing. We actually have somebody new today, and I got to give him a shout out. Our good friend Marky here. I met Mark about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was working in a role where it's kind of education to some of the branch staff, and I saw the shimmer in his eye, and I knew right then and there at some point we'd be together. But not like that. Here's Marky. Say hi, Marky. What's going on? All right. So Marky left his job, the full-time gig to trade, and we're proud of him. It's a big accomplishment. So Freedom Day for him is actually today. So we're celebrating Freedom Day. Maybe we're going to crack open the Patron. We'll see. We're going to talk today about guns, drugs, and oil. And it sounds like a catchy title, but it's true. You're gonna see why in a moment. First, let's take a tour through some of the key markets in Asia. Japan's flat. Hong Kong is up 0.2%. China's up 1.5 percentage points, and India is up 0.8. So Asian markets across the board are higher this morning. They're trading more bullish. In Europe at midday, London is closed in observation for their May Day. It's not an airplane disaster. It's kind of like the equivalent of Labor Day here in the United States, or there in the United States, up down, down south, up north in Canada, same thing. We have a Labor Day. In Europe, it's called May Day, and throughout the week, we're going to have a lot of closures of big European banks. So Switzerland's closed on Wednesday, Germany's closed on Thursday, and the UK banks are closed today. So the overnight session that we typically see starting Sunday was a little bit less volume-esque. There's a little bit less activity. And this morning, because UK is closed, we're expecting a little bit of a slower day. I'm going to caution you guys. Last Friday was the non-farm payrolls. This morning, the UK banks are closed from 9 to 11:30, or typical opportunity window of overlap. It's usually great volatility. Today may not be the case. Today, if you see chop, consolidation, and not a lot of movement, don't be surprised. I would advise you guys to decrease your trading frequency, trade less, and decrease your trading size. Less position, less frequent should give you more result today. Less is more in trading some days, and this may be one of them. If volatility breaks out and we get moving in a nice trend and momentum starts building, by all means, jump on board. Just start out on the cautious side, and you'll have a great day. All right. Futures in the United States, Dow Jones up 0.2 of a percentage point, S&P's up 0.3, Nasdaq's up 0.5%. Nasdaq has been the strongest equity market of all equity indices. That's because Warren Buffett announced a huge purchase in Q1 of Apple that takes him to how many shares, Vic? 240 million? Yeah, in total, like 42 billion or something ownership. He added 75 million shares, not dollars, shares in Q1. That's ludicrous. And so basically that kind of got Apple excited. That pulled FANG stocks, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, all of them higher together simultaneously. And then all other markets started to sort of follow because those tech stocks are big correlations and big leaders. All right. So today we're going to be watching some of the FANG stocks, and the US dollar is back on some of its highs. And that's very important. It's a very significant movement. So crude oil is up 1%. Crude oil breaks the 70.41, all right, overnight for the first time since November of 2014. This is on some growing concerns of collapse in Venezuela's oil industry, but more importantly, new sanctions against Iran. Anybody who's been following this U.S.-Iran deal, and it's called the Nuclear Accord, and, the U.S. may pull out of this nuclear agreement. It's not about nuclear at all. It's all about oil. All right, new sanctions on Iran in the name of nuclear deals allows Iran to export less. Less people do business with them. They can't collect U.S. dollars in exchange for their oil. U.S. dollars is still the prominent currency for trade. So these sanctions limit Iran from exporting their oil, and that's why Iran is getting upset. All right, but it has nothing to do with nuclear arms. It's not a nuclear deal at all. It's, are they going to screw them into producing no oil or not allowing them to export into the market? All right. However, here's the thing. The United States is not where it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. Right now, China is a huge buyer of oil. And even if the United States pulls out of this deal and sanctions Iran, China can start buying their oil. Russia can start buying their oil. There's a lot of different avenues and a lot of markets they could export to. So this time through, this deal is important, and the deadline is May 12th. So this Sunday coming up, Donald Trump pulls out of it. The dollar, or not the dollar, rather oil prices may skyrocket higher because there's uncertainty. Wherever there's uncertainty, there's usually an increase in prices because that's fear. It's fear driven, right? So that's what's pushing oil prices higher above that $70 marker. Also, Saudi Arabia a couple of weeks ago said, "Hey guys, we want oil to be at $80 a barrel." All right, you know, I want to drive Lamborghinis every single day and have a different color for every pair of shoes that I own. But it's not doesn't happen. What you want doesn't matter. But that is causing some upside pressure, along with the U.S.-Iran deal. There is a lot of upside in oil, so it's hard to fade. In short, it's a strong market. May 12th is the deadline for that 2015 nuclear agreement that Obama signed. All right, so that's, you guys need to know that. So that was the oil update. In terms of drugs, we said we're going to talk about drugs and guns. Well, pharma companies and healthcare companies are preparing for a start of new regulations. Donald Trump has said we'll be building on proposals on the president's budget. That's what Secretary of Health said, but he wants to go further. The entire system's under review. Basically, they're reviewing these healthcare companies, pharma companies that are pricing drugs through the roof. Like Martin Shkreli comes in and raises a popular cancer drug, like what, 6,000% or something crazy like that. They're going to try to put a stop to that kind of behavior, that predatory behavior by pharma companies. Tickers that are going to suffer from this are the following: CVS, RAD, WBA, UNH, ABC, Merck, MCK, CAH, OMI. Hope you got to write them down. If not, you can replay this and hear them. Watch those companies if you're a pharma trader or if you have some pharma positions. They're going to be volatile over the next little bit as these new regulations or new regulatory talks start. Last but not least, talk about guns. Donald Trump said on the weekend, your Second Amendment rights are under siege, but they will never, ever be under siege as long as I am president. He told a crowd in Dallas, Texas, a big gun market. This comes after the NRA's annual convention, and gun stocks like American Outdoor, AOBC ticker symbol, and Sturm Ruger, RGR, are under fire. Pardon the pun there. But they may rebound today. So if you're short some of those with put spreads, or you're looking for an opportunity for them to bounce back, Donald Trump just gave them a little bit of life over the weekend. All right, news today, we got consumer credit at 3 p.m. We have Fed's Evans speaking. Machines Learning Finance is the name of the speech. Will they change the game? That's actually a pretty cool speech to listen to at 3:30 p.m. I'd love to see and hear the Fed's take on that. So that's at 3:30, 3 p.m. consumer credit. Nothing else really. Markets, for the most part, are going to be slower today. So let's recap it. Monday, after non-farm payrolls, less volume, less volatility, more range-bound consolidation type price action. So expect a little bit of that. And I think that's going to be intensified by the fact that the UK banks are closed. That was one half of our market from 9 to 11:30, right? 11:30 is the European close. The majority of European markets are out of the UK. So expect a little bit lower volume, more range-bound action. Cut your trading size, cut your trading frequency. If this thing starts to go and it has momentum and volumes flowing in, by all means, you could get back to increasing your size. But at the beginning, start on the cautious note, and I promise you it'll serve you well. You guys have a good morning. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. is the next installment of our trading psychology course. It's going to be huge. I encourage you guys to check it out. And you got to be an elite member for that. But all subscriptions, not just elite, come with a 14-day money-back guarantee. So it's literally risk-free. And it might just change your life. So it's worth a shot. In fact, it will. I'll make sure of it. All right, you guys have a good day. I'm going to spin around, talk about some levels, open the trading room up here with our subscribers. All the best. Trade careful out there. Manage your risk. Trade like a trade pro. Adios. Any last words, Vic? That's it? You got nothing? All right. Vic's got nothing. I'm rolling around. Whee. All right, let's talk about some levels here, trade pros. We're going to talk about some trade ideas and some levels at which we could take some low risk, high probability trades and